Anybody who wants to leave at any moment, you could always look back and you can watch the answers to the questions. It's going to be 1 hour here. If we go through all the questions, then we're just going to show with the music. We could chat or whatever, but I want to answer the questions. Some of these questions are going to take me like 10 minutes to talk about, really. So, all right. So the first question was by Power95, and he said, "When will we have a festival again?" And I don't know if you have ever seen the first festival, but really what it is we kind of go in a VC and we go in an event, a bunch of events throughout the week. I'm sure if we did it now, it'd be a lot more efficient because once you run a few, then you start to get better at it. Will there be another one? Yes. I'm pretty sure we're gonna go down the new style. So before you had to be in the VC all the time. But this time now it's more like there's going to be a huge schedule and you can see on which days you're available to go to it. For example, Halloween week, I would like for us to have a week of events that are themed after Halloween. So that'll be the way it works. It's not going to be about being in the VC or anything. It's about the theme. Maybe we'll have some cool additions to the channels, and some of the names will change, even the server name, which I'll get to that question in a second. Yeah, so definitely we're gonna have other festivals. Halloween week would be a great time. The server anniversary, we're gonna have some celebration there. 1 year, that's crazy. And then during the winter holidays, so like Christmas and around that time, or New Year's Eve is, there'll be people on break, a lot of people on break, and that's when we'll have like these celebrations and activities going on there. All right, let's see. So that was Power95's question. Will there be a festival again? So the next question would be from Jack O Slime, which says, "What will happen on December 12th, the anniversary of VR Trapman's channel?" Well, here in the community, we focus more on the the community's birth. So really it started on December 11th, I believe, this server. Or if it was December 12th, it's December 12th. And then we'll just, we'll have a lot of things going on. There's some projects being worked on in the background for that here. In terms of Tosha, I'm sure he can do a video if he feels like it's appropriate. But here we're definitely going to have a lot of things going on. Probably a huge event or something to celebrate that. Yeah, so that'll happen. I don't want to leak too much information because you'll see what happens when it comes. I'm pretty excited about how it goes. So then the next question is by Lily Flower. Said, "Sadly, I don't have VR and stuff, and my laptop glitches out with the game, so I can't play. But anyways, will VR Trapman ever think about doing things like fan calls on Discord? Only if other fans like the idea. Well, but whatever. Also, how are you?" Well, I think he has considered doing that, but he's turned it down pretty much every time. But I can't speak for him fully, so has he considered it? Yes. Have people told him? Yes, but he's more of like focus on doing other things. But definitely a worthwhile question, something to get in his mind. And how are I? Then I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Even though people say I'm overworking, in fact, I feel like I have nothing to do, so I want to do stuff. So, yeah, just to tell you how I am. So then the next question is Blitz saying, "Is K. Jaden still the manager, event manager?" He's saying, even though he doesn't have the role anymore for the art events, when will it start again? So K. Jaden is not the event manager anymore. In fact, when he got demoted from, well, he stepped down from moderator, it was due to inactivity. He also stepped away from doing the events for the art team because, well, one, he was focusing on his life, and I know that because I chat with him, well, back in the day, and also because he kind of wanted to step away, take a break from the internet too. So, he's definitely been doing good. I hear about him. He's doing what he wants to do, which is great. And when will it start again? there's actually been plans of even more than just the art events in the future. You'll see some announcements about that at some point, and more details are being worked on as we go by, because that's a huge sector. You know, a lot of people like that type of stuff. Definitely want people to get what they want, you know, so that everyone can have a good time, happy time. So, is there going to be a huge update or changes that going to happen later in the server? Yes, really big changes to the community, and I stress the point that this is not just a server; it's a community, and you know it ventures further than Discord. It's more like the bonds between people. So, will there be big changes? Yes, you can expect big changes, especially very soon. You'll see these big updates. They might be shocking at first, but you know they were all after long discussions and a lot of thought. The only way that we're going to continue as a community and all that. So that'll happen. Some ideas, just to give you some ideas of what some big changes are for the server, at least, because I could imagine getting a Twitter page and stuff for the community. For the server, channel changes, role changes, new event systems. You know, I want to make an event schedule graphic. I don't know, or we could just use the command, whatever people want, stuff like that. And you know, it's all gonna be hashed out by you guys just giving in your input. So if you have an idea, if you know there should be a change or whatever, then you sure as heck will bet that it's somewhere on a list and it's gonna get worked on. Is it? You know, sometimes. At least in the past, it's, you know, we've been working on projects, but it's not really shown. But yeah, a lot of things, and it's all because of people's input. Like if nobody came out and suggestions, nobody came out and gave their voice after an event or whatever, then we wouldn't be able to be where we are today. So definitely appreciate that out of people. So let's see. Yeah, so that's just to tell you some of the changes that'll happen later in the server. I'm not going to spoil most of it. It's gradually coming out. I'm pretty excited. It's going to change a lot. All of it has to do with, like I said, you guys kind of speaking up and saying what you want. You know, like what do you want out of a community? What do you want? Because that, you know, in a sense, it's everybody's home. You know, everyone has some type of ownership over what happens next. So definitely enjoying that. So nothing's set in stone. Things are always changing. And there's a lot of projects in the background. Okay, so next question. Shiru, the spooky butler, says, will King be the new YouTube content creator of the server? I'll just say no and we'll move on. No. I saw some, Liz says, I saw some people either step down their role or get demoted or something. What happened? Okay. Yeah, so, and someone I remember commented after that and was saying how a lot of people seem to be removed from roles, or a lot of new people. Okay, well, I can explain that to you. Oh, yeah. So, you know, a lot of people got demoted because of inactivity. That was just purely in a fact, because you could look in the search bar and see how many messages were sent by them, and you know a lot of them are understanding. They all stepped down because of that. Now, if you see like a lot of people joining in, a lot of people joining out, it's because we've updated our systems for how staff are selected. I mean, staff really is just people who are volunteering to help out, and you know, same with me. I'm just trying to help out with like us as a community. Volunteering my time, volunteering my mind, and you know, really inspiring sometimes to see how a lot of people put in so much effort. It doesn't even have to be people who are working on events and whatnot. I've surely been inspired by a lot of people's words as well. Just simple text and a screen, inspiring. So yeah, I think that it's a good thing. You know, it. When you see people stepping down, when you see people then getting promoted, it goes to show that there's a lot going on. There's a lot of updating. I mean, if somebody's not doing something, then we just, you know, somebody else takes their place, or they step down because they realize they're not doing something. So yeah, definitely, that's what happened. That's what's happening. Where in the past maybe it was a little bit more lax, now it's a little bit more updating, and definitely going towards the future for sure. Yeah, we're continuing to work on that always. Then, will the server name change for Halloween event, or will it be the same? I can tell you the name of the server is going to change. Whether it's going to be called Spooky or Haunted or whatever, that's up to maybe a vote. We'll do that. And alongside that, it just reminded me of something, because talking about server names, you also think about server logos. Yeah, I'll tell you about how that's gone. So you'll see in about a week time why the server logo contest has actually been delayed. Because it's kind of a little bit iffy. It's kind of a little bit hard to decide how to make the logo now. Definitely, if it does get canceled and we do another contest from the beginning, then the people who got first, second, and third according to the community's votes are going to get Steam gift cards, because that's what was promised. So yeah, so that's just a side note. Okay, so Amber's question brings up, how's your day going, and do you have any fun plans for the weekend? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I hope everyone else is doing good. Do I have plans for the weekend myself? Yes, I do. A lot of it has to do with the community, but also stuff like setting goals in my life, because I still need to find out where I want to go with my life. But that's just me. I'm sure everyone else has their own things going on. So then the other question by Japanese text I can't read, or Zerp. How can you regain the creative role if you had it before? Oh yeah, definitely. Someone can give it back to you. They just need to find what you've done. That won't be hard. That's something in support you can do. So always go to support if you have like a question. Someone will get to you as fast as you can. Is King a dude? I already answered that question. No, I'm King. Amber's next question, a really deep question here. What is your end goal with building a community server? What point can you look back and say, I've done everything I wanted to do here? So answer the first part of the question, what is your end goal with building a community? And I'll speak for myself. I'm sure everyone else has their own goals, but me personally, I definitely have a lot of goals, not only for the people involved, like all of us here, but also for myself, and just achieving a greater being in life. So really the wording community server kind of like stands out to me. It's like, oh, it's just a Discord server. Again, I'm more focused on the people in the community. I take Discord, of course, as the platform for us to get together. Definitely see a possible future for us to venture out into many different platforms and really spread like our positivity, our the way, our style of being a community out into more people's lives to maybe inspire them and help them grow as a person. So let's see, but more specifically to answer the question, my end goal with everything is to, like in life, to share my intuitive view of life, which I hope people do too. And what I mean by that is I like to share who I am, share what I've learned. So maybe someone could learn something, and I hope that people do that too. And that's kind of what's the really cool thing about being in a community. You get to be with people that are kind of like-minded, and they can share their experience too, and you could possibly learn something from it. There's always something to learn from somebody else's life. And then the other part would be hearing the stories of everybody I meet. So like I said, same concept, just to hear everybody and to even touch their lives in some way just means so much to me personally. So that's kind of like my goal. If we build up more and more people, that means personally I'm going to get to interact with more wonderful people and possibly gain something along the way and share my life with other people too. It's like bigger than just alone anymore, But overall, what are the community goals? I'll tell you that too. So the main community goals are really to, get out there, really start to define ourselves more, get some really amazing things done to make this community stand out. Definitely. So, and I definitely don't want, I want to venture out of Discord in the long run, because I don't think we should just stick to that idea that, oh, this is a server, no, it is a community. So what point can I look back and say I've done everything I wanted to do to help the community grow, essentially? I don't think I could ever look back and say I've done everything I wanted to do. So you always want to do something new, right? So personally, I would say I'm happy as long as other people are happy. And I could look back and say I've done what I wanted to do when it's over. So whenever that is, whenever that chapter ends, where I feel like there's been multiple chapters of my life gone through this community, and I'm sure many people have done that too. You know, whether it be personal life, focusing on things you want to do with your life, or even stuff within the community. There's been chapters going on, and I feel like once that last chapter of that community passes, then I could look back and say I'm at peace with what happened, because life moved on. I gained something from it, and I could always reflect on that past. So yeah, at least that's for me what I have to say. So another question, what was your initial kick that got you interested in investing time in the community? Okay. So way back when, right when the community started, maybe 12 days after that, I joined, talked about philosophy for 4 to 5 hours. That really confused me, because I didn't think I would talk about what I love to talk about for so long in this server. So it kind of changed my view of everything. I was like, this is interesting. It's the first online community I've ever been in. So it kind of sparked a thing in me. I liked interacting with them. And the next morning, after I stayed up till like 3 a.m. in the morning just talking on Discord, I came back right away when I woke up, and I found the same people there. So there I kept talking with them, and I started loving it. I kept finding new people. It was a bunch of laughs. And I had remember about a year before that, I'd lost all the friends I thought I had on the internet. So I really regained that feeling of like belonging with people, of really having a laugh and enjoying myself. So that really got me interested. And then, 4 days into there, I got promoted to mod. Of course, it was, things were way different back then, and I was kind of curious. I had no clue. I was so scared of the admin back in the day for no reason. It's only because I didn't know them. I didn't know who they were, so I kind of was like, oh, I guess they're some big boss man, and they're looking down upon me, and if I do anything wrong, I'm gonna get banned. Stuff like that. What got me invested was seeing people, seeing how they felt happier, their lives were changed by something I did. And I'm sure some other people have been inspired by that, but that's what initially got me invested. Getting in there, getting interested, and then seeing the initial laughs that came from it. And then I kept going there, and eventually I started to study community management, because I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to help people, then why am I just going to be like most people and kind of like not do research, not do it the right way? So I said there surely is thousands of people who have written things about like how to do this properly and all that. So alongside Kochi, back in the day, we watched videos on Rabbit, so many videos just about community management. And from those, pretty much gained the initial things that I learned. And from there, it's been history pretty much. I've continued to read books on that type of stuff. And now I kind of want to study it for my future. Own a company and, focus on that community. It's all about the people. Because technology is for people, not for anything else. So we use the technology so that we could help people, so people can have the ability to communicate, whatever. And of course, helping people overall in life. Like I don't want people to kind of hold themselves up on the internet. I mean, there's plenty of people who neglect their schoolwork, definitely me included. And I kind of want us to work as a community to help that too, because I know so many people are students, right? With the power of many people, you could do much more, get much more done, know what's the best thing to do, stuff like that. So Next question, does that kick still exist or has it been replaced with something new? Okay, so at first, I had like a huge kick, in that investment category and for the community, and it's definitely morphed. It's definitely changed to new heights. But I still have that passion, and the focus is always on the people. The focus is always on getting new people involved and current people, just getting them closer because that's what I love. Um, to see something happen. I can't tell you how frustrated I can get by, seeing conversations that are meaningless. They aren't relevant because me myself, I remember so many conversations when I was younger that I did that, or the amount of years that I spent in school but never really learned. All I did was sit there, write, finish a test, get an A. I got straight A's, and then in the end, after I finished high school, I was like, I didn't learn anything. Same goes for people in the community. I don't want our community to be something where it's like it's just another community you join in and then you don't gain anything from it, because that's not the point. Why text in a text channel if you're not going to start a conversation or get to know somebody more? Just post emojis or whatever. That stuff kind of saddens me. Like I understand. Like posting emojis next to something is expressive. That's great. But there's something more to it. With text and an emoji. Sure, but only doing that is not going to get anywhere. I mean, getting to know the people around you, for me, that's the value in it all. So for me, that's kind of like my kick, has always been my kick there. But it's kind of been a different shoe. I've been using a different shoe every so often. Like my mindset, my inspiration, it's changed shape, but it's still the same color. Focusing on helping people there. So. And then the last question, which kind of fits with what I was saying. Who is your role model in life? My role model is everybody. I don't really have a set one person, and I really highly recommend that people have like one person or two people or like a group of people, and they think about what traits stand out for them. Like, let's say Elon Musk, for example. Like that would be such a great inspiration, such a great role model. You learn about his life, you learn about what he did to get where he is, to really try and change the world, right? Pretty inspiring stuff. And for me, the reason why everyone is sort of like my role model is because I don't believe that like there should be any positive, or negative values given to anything. Rather, it's just living. So whether it be a criminal on the street or somebody that saved 1,000 lives, they have some value in their life to share. The reason why they got to where they were is because of some story. So really, I like there's certain parts of everybody that we should aspire. It's like the bigger pieces of a puzzle. So really, why does that tie into the community? Because it's sort of like that. You have the opportunity to meet people, to fill in those gaps of like life's questions, of finding those pieces of a puzzle, the ones that you might not see at first, but you have an opportunity to meet. Like, sure, we could look at the same type of thing, we could think the same way, but if we never look to our left and our right, we don't see the people who are doing the same thing. Maybe they have a different view. Like, let's say there's a guy on the right side of the movie theater, and on the left, they see the movie differently, a different angle. One person might have seen something while the other didn't. So if you come down to the front of the movie theater and you start talking, say, well, I saw this and I saw that, then you see a bigger picture of the actual movie, right? This life. Life is on the screen. We can't like tell what it's really saying. Well, sorry about the phone. But yeah, that's my role model. My role model is everybody, and that's kind of one big reason why the community is so important to me, for us, because I feel like it's a place where we can actually gain value. And why this community out of other communities? It's because of the people. I mean, I've met some people that have inspired me in my life, have motivated me. So that goes into Blitz's question right here. What motivates you to make time and make the server better? Community better. It's just that. Seeing that potential. Same with anything. But I see such massive potential. The amount of effort, the amount of time that a lot of people here have put in, it makes me want to put in effort too, to like the next level. And that's why one of my dreams now is to get into community management like fully, to make it like a career in my future, because I just love it. Right now, that's how I feel, and I'm still trying to find out what I want to do with my life, but it's really transformed me, and I really owe it to the community for transforming my life, to sort of being confused with what I want to do, to at least having a different view, to tell me, wait, you got to rethink what you want to do with your life, Andrew, stuff like that. So that really, Andrew's my name, so that really changed me right there. Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, the motivation is, it might seem so simple on the surface, but I could talk about an hour just about why people transform lives, why the opportunities and potential we have can go to another level. So yeah. Let's see. So cookies and milk says, my question is there going to be an Inktober art event? I have no clue what that is. Inktober? Wait. Pen and ink challenge contest. Definitely. If you put in suggestions, that'll be a thing. I could write it up instead. You don't have to do it, but yeah. And is there going to be a brawlhalla tournament event / game night? Well, when it comes to games, I was thinking that really to get people together, again, going back to that concept, to have a good time together. If we did have a focus, it's like, let's say the theme of the week is that it's Brawlhalla week, or it's this mobile game week, or whatever, then, we could definitely be hosting game nights or tournaments around it, while it being the theme of the week. So definitely, I'd love to see Brawlhalla. It's a fun game to play with friends, and I played with definitely people in the community. We played like 8-person free-for-alls, and those are hilarious. They're great. And you could get really creative with teams and all that jazz. Other games too, even especially free games like Brawlhalla, but mobile too, because I know a lot of people don't have a PC as well, so definitely gets taken into account. My name is Azinus. Azinus. Okay. Gotcha. Will there ever be a voice trainer role again? I tried signing up, then they were disbanded. For now, there's such big changes going on. There's in the background. Having a voice trainer role is kind of in the air. I know there are a lot of people who have thought, including Candy. They put in a lot of effort to kind of think up guidelines for how the team would work, and we'll see in the future. For now, it's kind of gonna sit in the back burner as we have a lot of things going on. Halloween week, big server changes, well, community changes, but yeah, server changes too, and yeah, and then December is just filled with things going on. So yeah, it's gonna take a while before voice training kind of kicks up again, voice acting and all that, because it really needs to be done right. In the past, it was the team wasn't focusing on it, or there wasn't the right type of leadership behind it. So definitely in the future, just with like the staff teams now, it'd be like that. There'd be a leader, there'd be goals in mind, and it'd be like teaching. So I know that there are some people in the community, and some people have told me that do like voice acting, voice practice channel. Those people who are seriously trying to learn, definitely one day that'll get sorted out. But for now, it's not really a priority. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, definitely put them up, because that will be helpful in seeing where it goes. My question is, can I see King's Leg? No. Okay. Hi, King. How are you? I have a question, Jelly says. What is your happiest memory of this place in the community thus far? It's okie dokie if it's too personal question. Have a great weekend, regardless, you awesome person. Thank you. That's hard. That's a hard one. One of the most significant portions that I guess could go back to Amber's question with like investing in the community was maybe like 3 days or 4 days in, someone named Candle uh, got me into role playing with them. I was the girl on the phone, and he was my boyfriend, on the phone, and I, wow, I was bad. Like I didn't know what to say. I said really short phrases, whatever. But that was the fun part about it, of course. Looking back on it, that was super fun, and you know that was super significant, and I'll tell you why. I got super nervous. I was shaking. I don't know if you guys have done that before, but I was shaking. Like I did. I've never experienced that in my life, but I was, and that was kind of like one of the reasons why I got into the community. It was because of that. Um, because it got rid of like a lot of this anxiety that I felt towards people. Instead, I just wanted to have a good time and maybe play around with people. If you put in community questions, I can see it easier, by the way. Like if you have any questions, by the way. It's okay. No, all good. Um, so, so yeah, that, and yeah, I'm just answering questions now. Yeah. So if you have any, that's fine. Um, what? Wait, wait, wait. It has to be in line. There's like two people that are asking questions before you. Then I could just. Okay. Um. Yeah. So what's all these happy memories? I mean, really, a lot of like every single day is kind of like an experience for me. Some days there's not really much that happens like within the community, but at least the people in some way touch me every single day. Um, Even people that had got busy and kind of moved on, like Kochi, he got really busy. Um, you know, he taught me, well, he brought up that he remembered something that to really be intelligent, it's not about, uh, doing, knowing how to do something, but sometimes it's about asking the right questions. So there, I already gained something the other day just because of those words. It made me think about like where I'm going in my life. Like maybe I should step back and stuff like that. So every day is an experience. So I'm happy with everything. There's no real one big thing that really like made me the happiest. It's really the journey, every single experience. Let's see. Yeah. What is your main goal? Lucas says. Yeah, no problem. What is your main goal? What is the main goal? Okay, not mine. I'm just reading your. I'm egotistical. What is the main goal? The main goal is, you know, to define something that hasn't been done before, with all in mind the goal to make people know that they're heard and they can change the family or the community that they're a part of to make it a better place for everybody. And I know that some people might not see things as seriously or might not think like, oh, it's not going to go where you want it to go and whatever. But to me, like I said, I see that massive potential. It's because of the people that I've met, the amount of work they put in, and I've definitely done way too much for my well-being. There have been nights where I've stayed up super late and all I'm doing is typing things for the community, and it really gets stressful. I've already worked on learning from those missed opportunities where I could have done something better. Instead, I dedicated too much time into it. But I definitely want to take it to another step. I do all this research. A lot of other people put in a lot of effort because of that potential, because I know that if I put the effort, there might be that chance that the vision that I have in my mind of an even better future is there. The one where I can wake up in the morning tomorrow and say, well, this is a new day and it's better than yesterday. And every single day feel that way. So, that's why I want to do it. I also want to find out what I want to do with my life. But yeah, that's kind of why that's the main goal, and definitely connecting people behind what they really want. to have in their life. So Nikki had 2 questions here. It said, if there aren't any voice trainer roles, could you perhaps direct people to the other server resources to help with voice trainer? Yeah, definitely. I think that if we have those resources put in a little bit more of an easier format to read and understand, then sure. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll definitely write that down to contact people about how we'll go about that. All the channels are going to change soon, like everything, and there's going to be a list of the purposes, and if people don't want it, like in general, if the majority of people don't want something, then I'll just go, or if after some discussion it just doesn't seem like the right thing. Yeah. So let's see. Then two more. Can you give me some samples of your girl voice, loli voice, assuming you're open to using it and your throat isn't super dead? Well, I've been talking for 40 minutes, so it's not really the best time. I could give it a shot, just to give you, and then Mort's question will be next, and then I'll answer your next question. Okay.
Hey, this is my best voice I could do right now.
Okay, that's enough. That was terrible, but I don't feel like doing it right now. So Mort, go ahead. What was your question? Oh. Oh. Wait, how long do you think what? Sorry. How long did? Yeah. Okay. Okay, say it. Oh my gosh. Well, time is an investment. But with that constraint of time comes more of like a purpose. You need to use your time purposefully. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. I'd love to talk about philosophy with you on that for like hours, but I'm gonna only have 20 minutes left, so I'm gonna answer more questions. Have you considered doing something like project management? I actually am taking a course on or operational management at the moment. I really don't like it. I don't know, it's really boring. Um, but there's definitely a lot of important concepts in it, like the decision tree or a decision table or expected values or probability of expected returns. All this stuff that is pretty interesting of how to finish projects and whatnot. I've thought about that too. Um, how can I apply project management that I know or that I find on the internet to help optimize like finishing projects, with everybody in the community together. Um, but do I want to do that as a career? No, that's not like my focus of a career. Because when you look in project management, um, you're sort of looking into like just management in general of like in a company of projects being the boss or whatever. Um, but if you look into like, let's say projects like for brands and whatnot, you might be looking at, how much of our inventory has to go into this warehouse and all this stuff. And for me, that really doesn't interest me. Other forms of management interest me. Community management, especially. But yeah, other forms of management. I just like managing, analyzing uh, information personally. That's just how I like to do things. So, okay, so I went through a lot, pretty much all the questions on the page. If you have any other questions. No, I don't want to do telecommunication either. Um, but thank you for the suggestion. Oh, you do that? Hmm. Someone ask fast. Come on, quickly. Come on. Yep. So. Okay. Do you ever have time for us to discuss philosophy in life? Yo, I mean, Jelly's idea for having a community philosophy in lifetime should be a pretty inspirational event, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'd be down to do something like that. But do I ever have time to do it like casually? Only if I feel inspired. Right now I do, but I have to go after this like in 15 minutes. But I'm in the mood to talk about philosophy and stuff. You've already asked in suggestions. Oh yeah, you did. It wasn't taken serious. I bet I didn't take it seriously because I was like, who wants to listen to that? But if you just want to talk about life and stuff, that's great. What's Maville? Hmm? Will we ever get King's Weekly Book Thoughts? Hmm. Oh, okay, I get it. I think that we can, like, I mean, I'm definitely going to be writing things in the future, posting them, and just writing information, kind of like very similar to what I've said now, but, you know, regarding maybe future events or secret information, so, you know, we don't really fill up a Q&A with that stuff, you know, especially since a lot of people don't show up or can't hear the video or whatever. It'll just be in a post, so you could just check it out, you know. Yep. Definitely also making it really fit, like visually, you know, pleasing. You know, a lot of nice graphics, and it'll be formatted in an easy way for you guys to see. Because that's how, I mean, I like to format posts, and how really all of us like to post things. Easier way to read it. Only, you know, kind of highlighting the most important things, because of course a lot of people are busy, a lot of people are focusing on other things, and they have maybe time to glance at it for a second, but not time to read a whole wall of text. That's the idea. So I mean, that is unless people actually do want to see walls of text. But definitely in the future, I can envision having a link. So it'll put the most important information, and then it says if you want more details, then click below, and then you go to like a website or something. Should be easier for people to not have to scroll through so much text. Everything is something, yet nothing is nothing. There's nothing something as well, or is it purely nothing? Okay. Wow. Can we let the people own VC for a short amount of time, around 15 to 30 minutes? Wait, what? Luca, what are you saying? So can we let people own the VC for a short amount of time, around 15 to 30 minutes? There was an amazingly talented musicians on the server, but they also left because some people were being dicks. I hope there was an open mic or something and let the host to ban people from VC or make them vote to ban something. Actually, I've thought of that as well, implementing some sort of system so that based on the people inside the VC, they can do, it has to be unanimous, a vote against somebody in the VC causing disruption or whatever. If they're not letting someone sing, you know, you could just kick them out. And that'll be reported to moderators, of course, like it'll ping the moderators and say, someone's been kicked from this chat for doing this, you know. All anonymously, of course, so whoever does the vote can do it. But I don't really want to do that because I feel like that's going to be abused. But if you guys want it that bad, then definitely we'll think about it. So, but like, here's another thing, right? So it's a system that I wanted to implement for a long time, and eventually in the next few months, I'm going to keep working on it. Don't know when it's coming out. Might be in December. It's a system based on people's breaking the rules. So if you break in a certain number of rules or certain specific rules, then you get banned from certain VCs for a certain amount of period of time, depending on the severity of what you've done. So if somebody was to blast their mic or yell or whatever, they would get warned, of course, but once they get muted or warned, then maybe they aren't able to access the karaoke chat, for example, so that they can't interrupt people singing, um, or maybe a gaming chat, whatever. So based on severity, um, severity does. There is certain levels though, because doxing somebody is different from spamming your mic, stuff like that. So that's the idea. Different cooldown periods for different rules, and it's quantifiable. So uh, the way it would work, I call it the QFS and the QLS, quantifiable liability system, and the qualitative facilitation system. So the liability system is meant for rules and essentially allocating number values. So somebody who's broken a rule might get a 20 value, so that means they're 20 out of 100, and once you reach 100, you get banned. Stuff like that. Now, over time, you start to lose the points. So let's say in a month's time, if you posted like something suicidal, then you get the points taken away, right? But yeah, that's kind of like something still in the air, and something I'd like to discuss with more people over time to see what they want specifically. But again, it's a concept, and I think that would be a great way to help people not get random people joining in and trolling by setting those levels in there too. It shouldn't be that complex either. It's something I also want to share with other communities. That's why I wrote like a whole Google Doc about it. It's meant to help people, not only our community, but other people who actually want to build a community. They could kind of run off the system too. So it could also be memed and waste the time of the mods by pinging them. Well, the whole concept is not about pinging mods that to kick somebody. It's about pinging mods that it happened. Something else I was thinking about too is kind of implementing a system where if a post gets like a certain amount of downvotes, because let's say somebody wrote something really disturbing in the chat, you put a certain number of downvotes. Well, someone of a certain level has to, maybe noble and above, or I don't know what it would be, regular above. They post a little like downvote on a post, and then they can basically, if it gets a certain amount of downvotes, a mod gets contacted and it says like, this is under review, right? Like this post right here, someone said this, like, and then a mod can see if it was good or not, and if it gets abused, the person who did the initial reaction would get contacted. But that's kind of like the idea to another system that I've found on the internet too. Oh yeah, and to play musical instruments, some people have been saying the music studio revival. Definitely in the future, I could see a karaoke VC and like a music instrument VCs as well. Different VCs for different creative things, because that's kind of like a lot of our focus in our community. It's about creative areas, so that will also be a thing too. But let me tell you a little bit more of the future for those of you who are still here and anybody watching the video. This community Q&A I like to do every single week. I'll cut it down to twice every month if people feel like it's not really necessary to do it every week. Or we'll do a little rotation. We'll do a Q&A one week, and then the next week we'll do like a relaxing environment event. So everyone's, like the first time we did the Q&A, everybody was talking, and I had a really fun time talking about things. So I think that I would like to do that instead. So we do Q&As every other week, and then on the weeks that we're not doing the Q&A at this same time, we'll do a community like Shill. So we can talk about philosophy, we can talk about life, whatever it might be here, and it's less of a Q&A and more of a relaxing environment. While here is meant for answering questions, recording them, putting them online. And we could always make them longer. This time around it's going to be 1 hour because I have to leave to a meeting after this. Yeah, but let me tell you a little bit about the future. So while community Q&A is great and all, and answering questions, it doesn't really mean that I'm interacting with you guys on the other level. So that's the reason why soon enough we're going to have a community Pogcast. So it's called Pog. It's really a podcast, a very Pogish type of content and stream, right? So what's going to happen though is we'll sit there, a group of people, me, Tiki, Wadi, 2, 3 other people, and we'll sit there as the main hosts, right? Then, guest speakers will be allowed throughout the thing instead of, you guys just asking questions like in the community Q&A. It's more of a podcast, so people come in on RSVP. So, before the community podcast, if you fill out the form and you say like, I'd like to be a guest, then you get more priority over someone who during the event is asking, well, I'd like to get in there. So like that gives more, the people who come first get served first, that concept. So I understand that time zones is also a thing, somewhat like, let's say we did it at a certain time, it might be like 3 a.m. in the morning for someone else, and they had no chance to join in. It'll definitely be engineered to allow enough people within a 24-hour period to join in on the RSVP. So the way it'll work, we have a podcast, we talk about the future of the community, we talk about setting rules, we talk about setting the channels, because we can't do it without everybody putting in their input. So that's definitely the way it'll go. What do you guys think about this rule? What do you guys think about doing this? It's what everybody wants, right? So we have a discussion, we bring in the guest speakers so they could give input if they have a lot of thoughts on the subject. Let's say somebody thought a lot about the rules or something, and how they think that, well, we shouldn't have this rule or we should have a new rule here. Because, rules are really meant there for a reason. They're meant to guide our community. They're not meant to, like, stop people, really. Wait, this music's way too loud. Okay. Yeah, so that's the idea. We set the guidelines, we set the community constitution, as some people would call it. Our own constitution that basically says, like, this is what we're about, this is our personality, and then when people join, they could see it and they could say, well, I'm interested too. I'm interested in being a part of a community that's going to accept me, that's going to make, allow me to sing or write or draw art or socialize in game in a calming, relaxing environment. That's exactly what the podcast is for. It's for, not only expressing what's happening in the future, but making sure that everybody that comes by in the community has an input and is able to help grow it. Yeah, so the Pogcast, I'm giving you guys the inside deets since you did come by. This hasn't been announced yet, but yes, it's going to be a Pogcast, and it's going to be very, very like hype. There's going to be activities, like fun events going on throughout it too. It's not just going to be, talking. Everyone in the event is going to have an opportunity to join in on the fun, join in on the activities going on, because that's what it's all about. Nobody wants to sit around for like 3 hours, 4 hours, however long it is, watch a Twitch stream and then people just talk on and on and on about the future. It's all about everybody in the community, so that's the point. Everybody's going to have a chance to bring up their question, even if the time goes over because of how many questions get brought up or opinions. They'll all be logged, they'll all be saved, and then we'll definitely have more discussion of it afterwards too. So there's no need to worry about that. That's going to be huge. That is definitely going to lead our community into the future, because we are going to be revamping everything. We are going to be starting over again as at least a community concept wise. And after that, then we're going to promote the community to many different outlets. So people who are looking for that creative side, people who are looking to game and socialize in a fun environment, or also people who just want to be accepted and kind of they're nervous to go and show off like the talent that they have, because everybody has talent, a piece of a puzzle in life, right? Help them reach that full potential. And that's really like the goal in all of this, of course. That's the goal of being in a community. It's to get there. So definitely my motivation and a lot of other people's motivation. So podcasts, that's going to be huge. I'm looking forward to it, and looking forward to talking too, because I love talking. So let me get your question, Jelly, and then if you have one more question, then please ask, or else we're gonna end the Q&A right now. I'm gonna upload the video to YouTube, and I hope you guys have a good day, good night, whatever it is, guys and gals. What if, for example, one wanted to sing and play an instrument at the same time? Which VC would you like to join, music studio or karaoke? If you want to sing and play at the same time, karaoke, sure. Some people might say, well, you can't sing and play at the same time. I mean, whichever one's open at the time. If someone in karaoke says, well, I'd like to sing, then of course, they're up next, right? But yeah, if you want to sing and play instruments, that's great. If you just want to play instruments, then I think if we have a music studio in the future, or whatever we call it, then yeah, that'll be the place to do it. What channel will this be uploaded to? My channel. I'll post it in the event channel, and you could just click on the link when you want to get all this whole discussion. And in the description, I'll post all the questions. I'll try to. I've never played around with the description and all that, so it's not going to be easy for me. But I'd like to make an upload that is concise, easy to follow, and within the description I'd like to put links to every moment that I went to the next question, right? So you don't have to click through to see which questions were answered. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. Let's see. You hear me for the first time. Wink. That's great. I definitely could have talked more about the goals of the community and all that, but I'm gonna keep that a secret for the podcast, okay? Because that's where most of the things are gonna happen. It'll all be streamed. It'll all be recorded. It'll have posters and designs and yeah, who knows what? Because it's meant to really be the future. Yeah, I'm sure, Luca, we can consider having a VC that's all about practicing for hours, right? Like kind of, definitely people have brought up ideas of having a work productivity type of VC, where, a lot of it's just like practicing, gaining skills, and I love that. That's great. That's really what it's about. And you get to do it together with people. Like sometimes I might want to do my homework. I think having that type of VC would mean I could do my homework while other people are there too, and everyone's focused on their work but together, so it's a little bit less like you're alone doing it. So yeah, that's it. Thank you all for coming along. I'm gonna post it, and yeah, thank you for watching the video. If you are watching the video, definitely looking forward for the future. There's going to be some really big announcements coming up. I know it's going to be kind of shocking maybe to some people. But let me rest assured that it was after a long discussion with everybody. So, well, everybody in the staff, and a lot of thought for me too. But that's just telling you there is going to be something coming up this week. Other than that, see you guys around, and bye.